It's barely over a month into the year 2024, and the Naira is having an outrageous free fall. And in this free fall, it's massive, it's fast, it's quick, and Nigerians don't know where to hide or where to run. Welcome to Business and Finance here on Echo Television International. I am Rachel Tanzi. And the top thing I'll be looking at today on Business and Finance is what is going on with the Naira in Nigeria as against the dollar. We are looking at a week-on-week fall, and the dollar as against the Naira is standing at 1,000, over 1,400 to a dollar. And then this is not only affecting inflation, but we're seeing businesses closing down. We are seeing that there's so much economic chaos and instability, and also a continuous decline in the standard of living. Now, amidst all of this, the government is asking Nigerians to be patient, that perhaps the economic policies, that is the exchange and the importer and exporter exchange window, will probably do good to us. However, this window whatsoever haven't served its purpose, and we can see that the floating is putting us in a tough position where we are seeing an immense decline. We're talking about rapid and high, where we can see that at the official market, we are seeing the Naira at 1,400 and above. We saw weeks where it was above 1,500 Naira. And for the pound sterling, it is standing at a position of over 1,777 Naira to a pound sterling. Now, we are seeing that there are speculations that this could go high and above 2,000 Naira to a dollar. As it is now, this increase is already, we're feeling the blow directly. Businesses, small, big businesses, are feeling the punch. We're also looking at households. At every other things that we need, the gas, the liquid gas is going high in the market. We are also talking about petrol pump price. In as much as the government is trying really hard to keep it within a ceiling, we are seeing that this might not stand much for a long period of time. We're looking at consumable goods, the products that are being imported into the country, as we are seeing that the high exchange rate is affecting every good, including some services in the country. Now, we are seeing that the change operators are complaining in the scarcity of dollar, and we're also seeing that the Central Bank of Nigeria is asking deposit money banks to do something about this. That is, they're giving them a minimum of a short period of time to be able to do away, sell the dollars that are in their position, to be able to have a flow. However, we're seeing that, well, there are so many factors here in play, and it's not only the scarcity of dollar that is the reason behind it, but of course the floating of our currency, and well, the Naira is not in demand. Now, we are seeing that the Senate are summoning the CBN governor to come and give an explanation to why the Naira is having a free fall. However, the question is, he didn't make the policies. So shouldn't the Senate be summoning the man behind the policies? Now, a lot of these policies, starting with the I&E exchange window, was in June, and Cardoso became the CBN governor in September, meaning all of these were taking place and happening even before the central bank governor, Cardoso, assumed office. Now, the question is, what can he do to stop this free fall? What are the modalities being put in place, and how soon are we going to start seeing a significant amount of our currency gaining some value? Because as it is now, it has no value whatsoever as against the dollar, and we are seeing continuous hardship. Now, we're also seeing that one of the measures that the Central Bank of Nigeria is taking and putting in place is setting a new currency exposure limit for commercial banks. That is saying this is how much of foreign currency you can put out there, and we are also expecting you to be able to trade and sell off certain amount of currency within your reach or in your coffers or what you have. And these are all limits. We've seen several different kinds of templates put by the Central Bank of Nigeria, mediums, for Bureau de Change operators. We've also seen in the past where limits to withdrawal for the dollar was put by the CBN as what individuals can have access to on a daily basis was increased from 100 to over 1,000 and 10,000 depending on the kind of bank account or the domicile bank account that you are operating in. Now, these are the many among, this is the few among the many other things that have been put in place to see that the Naira gains some value. However, we are stepping into 2024 still seeing a consistent free fall. Now, we will wait and watch out and see what will be the outcome of the meeting with the CBN governor, with the Senate, and what is the way forward. What counter policy will be put in place, and what other new policies will be brought out to see that the free fall is being controlled and being kept within a limit. However, we are looking forward to an economy that produce rather than consume, and with that there will be a demand on the Naira, and eventually we will start seeing our currency gaining some value in the foreign exchange market. Now we're seeing that in line to trying to tackle the decline, the fall in the of Naira against the dollar, we are seeing that the Central Bank of Nigeria have decided to pay certain foreign exchange backlogs, and they have injected over $500 million into the foreign exchange market to be able to settle some of these backlogs to see if we will have a better flow, and eventually the dollar and the Naira as against the dollar will be able to stabilize. Now, at the beginning, towards the ending of the weeks that have passed, we are seeing that there is a little bit of stabilization, but it is not for sure because it just stabilized, but we're not seeing the Naira gaining value. Now, we are seeing that the CBN says, this is a statement signed by the Director of Corporate Communication Department, that is of the CBN, saying that the management of the Central Bank of Nigeria is committed to setting all legitimate foreign exchange backlog within a short time frame. Now, this strategy is to improve liquidity in the Nigerian foreign exchange market. We are looking at, for the short run, the medium-term goals, and even the long term. Now, this money is just among the so far over $2 billion that has been put into. Now, this cross across many sectors like manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum. Yes, we've seen how there's been so much backlog, so much money being put in foreign currency. We've seen that of the NNPCL, that is for petroleum. We have seen that going to aviation, which we will look into shortly, and then also for manufacturing. That is, we are seeing that the Central Bank of Nigeria is pumping in money that is to pay off certain backlogs for manufacturers, as we are seeing that the economic situation of the country is causing a lot of multinationals to leave. And not only multinationals, but we are also looking at home-based business, that is Nigerian businesses having struggles concerning foreign exchange scarcity. And then the CBN is saying these backlogs that we are paying, we are pumping it into the aviation sector, into petroleum, and into manufacturing. Now, so far, $500 million is just part of the over $2 billion that the CBN have already put into paying backlog. Now, we have seen that of the aviation has also, this $500 million have also gone into the aviation. However, we are seeing that foreign airlines are faulting the CBN, saying that, you know what, we still have $650 million still as strap funds, and it haven't been paid. Now, CBN clearly stated that these strap funds that they have paid is to verified airlines. That is, it has to be a verified airline that, okay, you know what, we have verified, meaning we have other airlines operating in the country that are not verified. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria said it has paid additional $64.44 million of the trap funds of foreign airlines in the country, thereby bringing the total amount of money paid in recent time. This is recent payment to 136.73 million. Now let's not forget that in 2023, the total of these foreign backlogs for the airlines trap funds precisely was a little bit over 700, and at times we were looking at $800 million. Now we are seeing that in recent times the central bank have paid now over 136.73 million. However, we are having sources that are close from the foreign airlines saying that they are yet to receive over the 650 million of trapped funds. But we are seeing that the CBN are saying that they have started making payment and have paid over 136 million dollar. Now they are also saying, these sources are saying that whatever CBN has given is paid for just two phases of these trap funds in the country. That is, there is more than two phases. If it's just for two, we are looking at 3 to 4 phases of this trap fund for different reasons that these funds have been trapped in the past. Now, the acting director of corporate communication, we are still looking at Mrs. Hakama Sadi Ali, said the Apex Bank has concluded the payment of all verified claims by airlines with an additional $64.44 million to the concerned airlines. Now, in the statement, she noted that the latest amount paid to the airlines had brought to the total verified amount paid to the sector to $136.73 million. Now, this is revealing a lot, that these trap funds in the country that is amounting to this much amount of money, meaning that there are airlines that are being verified by the Central Bank of Nigeria, and then there are airlines that haven't been verified by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Now, also, if the Central Bank have said they have released these funds, and we're still seeing airlines saying that they are yet to see these funds, then it means there's also a breach when it comes to the more commercial banks, because this is the banks, this is the channel in which airlines will be able to have access to these trap funds. Now, if CBN have released it, and then we're still having some airlines saying they have not seen this trap fund, then so much is still underneath, and then we will see how things uncover. But we are looking at this backlog being cleared, because it is a threat to the aviation, as we have seen that so much threat coming from the IATA saying they might be forced to boycott Nigeria, and this already means bad business. So as the CBN is making immense effort to clearing this forest backlog, we're looking forward to seeing that, you know what, let the commercial banks play their part, and then if there are unverified airlines giving this statement that they haven't seen this payment, then they should be verified to just stop the back and forth concerning the CBN saying we have paid, and then airlines saying that it has not been paid and is over 650, while CBN is saying they are done and have settled the verified airlines. Now we are seeing that, if we clearly remember, let's go back a little bit to 2022, where we saw that the NNPCL took $3.6 billion loan to pump into NNPCL. However, it is not going to be returned back in cash, and then it is going to be given, it's going to be paid in exchange for oil. This move is going to threaten the reserve, our oil reserve, when we are even in the position where we are not making enough when it comes to our daily quota, and even our reserves is not that much for us to risk it and put it in the line. But we are seeing that this move is mortgaging over 30% of our oil output, while we are not even at our 100%. So the 100% of whatever we are able to make, we are saying that 30% have to go into paying this cash for oil deal by the NNPCL. Now, the recent decision of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to pledge a total of 440,000 barrels of crude oil per day to secure cash deals has raised questions about the future of Nigerian oil wealth and the well-being of its citizens. Now, to achieve this, the NNPCL used joint ventures agreements with local and international oil companies to produce in onshore and shallow water oil wells. It owns 60% of benefits in this agreement, but often fails to contribute its share of costs, leading to what is known as cash call areas in the industry. Now, the concern here is that we are having NNPC mortgaging over 30% of Nigerians' current oil production of 1.4 million barrels per day. Now, according to OPEC, we are not meeting our quota. 1.4 is below 1.8 million barrels per day. At a time, the country is not extracting enough value from its oil reserves of 37 billion barrels, and revenues are badly needed to shore up declining external reserves and prop up a bruised currency. Now, we know that, this looks like we're working on eggshell here with our oil. If we are having only bought a reserve of 37 billion barrels, it's a reserve. It's not what we are able to save weekly or monthly. It's just what we have in total in our reserves. Now, if we are having an oil for cash deal, it means whether or not we are able to produce much barrels of oil daily as is expected, we have to pay back these loans with oil. Either way, it's a deal, and we can see that this was achieved with joint ventures agreement with local and international companies. So where we got these funds from, we're expected to give them back their funds in oil. So where we are looking at any decline in our production that will not allow us to be able to give out 440,000 barrels of crude oil per day, as the deal and the transaction has been, we are looking at going into our reserve, and the reserve is just at 37 billion, and then we cannot stand a chance to use our reserves to pay off loans. That is the trick here, and that is the challenge here. So now there's just so many ways to go about it. First of all is NPCL doing producing more when it comes to crude oil daily. We have to go above 1.4 billion barrels per day, because if we do not do that, then our reserve is threatened, and we are seeing a currency that at the moment we are in trouble. And of course, we do not exchange, we do not sell oil with our currency. We are under OPEC, and therefore we are trading with foreign currency and the US dollar precisely. So it is just going to keep being a threat to our currency if we gamble with our reserve of 37 billion. That is not enough. If you look at it, we have to start deducting and paying out loans, because eventually they would amount to millions. And once our reserve is not where it's supposed to be, we are just going to be in big trouble. As it is already, we're not meeting our quota. We are already in big trouble. We're not making enough revenue as it should be. We don't have refineries running as they should be. We are importing oil. This puts us on a very thin line of, going into our reserve and then eventually just putting ourselves deep into more economic chaos and more economic crisis. And I would like to start by saying a congratulations to Femi Otedola for becoming the new First Bank of Nigeria holding chairman. Now, he was appointed recently to succeed Ahmed Abdullahi in a corporate notice filed with the Nigerian Exchange Limited on Wednesday. This happened last week. So congratulations to the new chairman of the First Bank Holdings in Nigeria. We have seen them perform greatly when it comes to income before tax in the past year, and I believe that the First Bank Nigerian Holding is going to do better in the hands of Femi Adetola. And this is how far I go on the show today. Goodbye.